Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take a huge stack of sources, everything from official press releases to some pretty fiery internet forums, and pull out what you really need to know.
And today, we are wading right into a big one, the reveal of the 2026 Toyota CHR, their new battery electric vehicle.
The reaction to this was, wow, just immediate and incredibly polarized. It feels like this is a moment where Toyota's entire history with hybrids is colliding head-on with the all-electric future.
It is. That's why we're looking at such a mix of material. We have the technical docs from Toyota in the US and Europe, but we're also digging into these, very emotional, sometimes furious Reddit threads.
Exactly. You've got Toyota's carefully crafted messaging right next to these, frankly, vicious arguments from EV purists.
So our mission today is pretty simple. Clarity. We want to separate the technical facts, what this car actually is, from the emotional narrative around it.
We want to show you what Toyota is actually delivering versus what a very vocal part of the public demands.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We can start with the basics. The North American version, the 2026 CHR BEV. It's slated to arrive in 2026.
And right away, the name itself is a bit of a thing.
It is. Officially, CHR stands for things like Compact High Rider, or what was the other one?
Crosshatch Runabout. It's trying to capture that whole coupe SUV vibe.
But the internet, of course, did better. I saw a Chief Human Resources Officer being thrown around.
I think my favorite was Circumcised High Roller. It just shows you what happens when you let the public get involved.
It really does. But okay, back to the actual car. It's built on their dedicated EV platform, the ETNGA.
Right, so this isn't a converted gas car. It's designed from the ground up to be electric, which is why they talk about that low center of gravity. Good for handling.
So hit us with the key U.S. specs. What are American buyers getting?
So in the U.S., it's pretty straightforward. It's one configuration, a 74.7 kilowatt-hour battery, and it comes standard with all-wheel drive.
All-wheel drive standard? That's interesting.
Yeah, motors on both axles. The combined output is 338 horsepower. And Toyota's estimating a 0 to 60 time of around 5 seconds, so it's genuinely quick.
And the two numbers everyone always asks about first, range and charging.
Okay, so the manufacturer's estimate for the U.S. is a range of up to 290 miles. It's got the NACS port, which is becoming the standard, and it's DC fast charging capable.
Limited speed.
They're saying 10 to 80% charge in about 30 minutes, under ideal conditions.
I also saw they included paddle shifters, which seems a little unusual for a BEV.
It is, but it's a nice touch. They're standard, and you can use them to control the level of regenerative braking. There are 4 different levels, so you can really customize that one-pedal driving feel.
Okay, so that's the U.S. version, but here's where it gets, for me, really interesting. The strategy for Europe is totally different.
Completely different. The car over there is called the CHR Plus S.
A Plus SE. And that little plus sign apparently signifies added versatility and practicality.
Right, and you can see Toyota's broader strategy here. In the U.S., they're also expanding production of hybrid Corollas. It feels like they're hedging their bets a bit, especially after those tax credit changes.
But not in Europe. Over there, they're going all in on the CHR Plus bone.
They are, and it's because they're doing incredibly well there. Our sources say they're having record sales in Europe, second only to Volkswagen. They are not seen as being late to the EV party there at all.
So what are the actual differences with the CHR Plus Spare? What choices do European buyers get?
The biggest one is battery choice. In Europe, you can get a smaller 57.7 kilowatt-hour battery, which is front-wheel drive only.
For city driving, I assume.
Exactly. Or you can get a larger 77 kilowatt-hour battery, and that one comes in either front-wheel or all-wheel drive, so a lot more options.
And that bigger battery is what leads to that headline range figure we've all seen, the one that's way higher than the U.S. 290-mile rating.
It is. The 77 kilowatt-hour version has a tentative WLTP range of up to 600 kilometers.
Which translates to roughly, 375 miles? That sounds so much better.
It sounds much better, and that's the critical distinction you have to remember, WLTP versus EPA.
Ah, the testing cycles.
Precisely. The WLTP standard in Europe is just, more optimistic. The EPA cycle in the U.S. is notoriously stricter, often giving you a range estimate that's 15, maybe 20% lower for the exact same car.
So the U.S. car isn't actually being crippled, it's just being graded on a tougher test.
That is the crucial insight here. The U.S. 74.7 kilowatt-hour pack is almost identical to the Euro 77 pack. The 290-mile number is a result of the regulatory environment, not Toyota holding the car back.
That is such an important piece of context. And the performance is still strong over there, too.
Oh, yeah. The European all-wheel drive version gets 343 horsepower, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 5.2 seconds. It's one of their most powerful non-GR cars in that market, so technically both versions are very competitive.
Okay, so the car is competitive, the specs make sense when you add context, and yet we have to enter the fiery cauldron of the online comments.
Yes, we do. The reaction was intense, and a lot of the commentary we analyzed points to a group of critics who seem to be, let's say, performatively disliking Toyota.
What do you mean by that?
It's like they're angry that Toyota didn't go bankrupt for sticking with hybrids for so long. They were arguably right about that multi-pathway strategy, and now that they're making a compelling BEV, it disrupts a certain narrative.
It's tribalism. One commenter I saw even compared it to Elon Musk having his fourth act villain reveal, as if Toyota is now the villain for succeeding where others have struggled.
It's incredible. It's not about the physics of the car anymore. It's about brand identity.
All right, so let's tackle their specific technical complaints. Number one, the weight.
This is a huge one for EV purists. They're estimating the car at 4,300 pounds dry, close to 4,600 with a driver. They call it bloated.
Which is how much heavier than the old gas-powered CHR?
About 1,100 pounds heavier. And they love to contrast it with something like the Honda E, which is only 3,000 and 350 pounds.
But that's a tiny city car. It's not even in the same class.
Not at all. But that's the comparison being made.
Okay, what about the range? We know the ePAL-TP context now, but still, 290 miles in the U.S., it just doesn't sound like a big number anymore.
It doesn't. And for the U.S. market, the loudest voices say it's not enough. We saw posts saying people would absolutely pay an extra $5,000 to get that range up closer to 380 miles.
The thinking is that sub-300-mile EVs just won't sell in huge numbers outside of, coastal cities where charging is everywhere.
That's the consensus from that crowd, yes.
And the final big complaint, charging speed. 150 kilowatts was called slow.
Yeah, there's this perception that anything over 20 minutes for a 10 to 80% charge is a failure. But this is where the counterfacts are so important.
So how does it actually stack up?
Well, you look at its direct competitors, the Kia EV3 peaks at 100 kilowatts, or maybe 135 with a big battery. The Hyundai Kona is also around 100.
So 150 kilowatts is actually better.
It's better than its direct peer group. One source put it perfectly. A 30-minute charge time for 10 to 80 is the median rate for a mainstream car these days. It's not slow, it's average.
That's a fair point. But if they're aiming for a premium feel, and probably a premium price, is being median really good enough?
And that's the bet Toyota is making. They're betting that the mainstream buyer cares more about reliability and overall experience than chasing the absolute fastest charging speed on a spec sheet.
Right. They're not targeting the performance zealot.
Not at all. And then there was the accusation that they're playing dirty by revealing the car so early.
To what? Dissuade people from buying a Kona or an EV3 right now?
Exactly. Which, as one analyst pointed out, is just called marketing. It's standard industry practice to build excitement for a new model.
So while the online critics focus on weight and range, Toyota is betting that the average person is more interested in the safety features and the day-to-day convenience.
I think so. And they've loaded it up. Toyota Safety Sense 3.0 is standard, so you get all the driver assistance features, adaptive cruise, lane keeping, that really reduce fatigue on a long drive.
And what about the tech that makes living with an EV easier?
This is where they've done some smart things. It has plug-in charge.
Which means no more fumbling with apps at the charging station.
Right. You just plug in at a participating network, and it handles all the authentication and payment automatically. It's a direct solution to the app fatigue a lot of EV owners complain about.
What about for us in colder climates? Battery performance in winter is always a concern.
They thought of that. There's a battery preconditioning function. It warms the battery up to the optimal temperature before you get to a fast charger.
So you get faster speeds, even when it's freezing outside.
Yes. You can even set a DC fast charger as your destination in the navigation, and the car just handles the preconditioning automatically on the way there. It's very seamless.
And that convenience focus extends inside too.
For sure. The big 14-inch screen has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and you can link your Apple Music or Amazon Music accounts directly to the car system.
And then there's the warranty, which, especially in Europe, seems designed for maximum peace of mind.
It's remarkable. The European Battery Care Program covers the battery for up to 10 years or 1 million kilometers.
1 million kilometers, wow.
Yeah. provided you get an annual battery health check. It's a huge commitment to durability. The U.S. warranty is also strong, 8 years or 100,000 miles on the battery.
So when you put it all together, what does this all mean for you, the person listening? The tension here is so clear.
It is. You have a car that's technically very competitive. The charging speed is solid against its actual peers, but it's facing this intense scrutiny from a community that demands perfection.
It's the classic case of letting the perfect be the enemy of the good.
And it highlights the two different buyers Toyota is trying to serve. They built a heavier, powerful, decent range car for the U.S. buyer who has range anxiety.
And a lighter, more efficient, more option-heavy car for the European market that cares more about maneuverability and choice.
Exactly.
Which brings us to our final thought for you to mull over. What's the right path forward for EVs? Is it building these big, heavy cars with massive batteries to give consumers that 300-plus miles security blanket?
Or should automakers prioritize lighter, more efficient cars that would absolutely require a much better, more robust public charging infrastructure than we probably have right now? It's a fundamental trade-off.
Weight versus range. Space versus peace of mind.
If you found this deep dive curious and engaging, we encourage you to follow us as we keep unpacking these complex topics. And if there's something you think we should tackle next, tell us what sources you have. We're always eager to see what knowledge nuggets you've discovered.